Hello everyone, and in this race we call the VBLS and VGC Draft League more as a format. Sometimes you just have to chuck it in manual. Today I have the one, the only, the legend. You know him, you love him, you all are subscribed to his channel SlymRed. Goose, say hello.
Hello everybody. Back for another fantastic video with the man himself.
Indeed,
Make sure you
indeed,
sub to his
indeed.
channel.
And hopefully this time we won't both click Trick Room in the same turn.
That was great content.
It was very fun. It was crazy how both of us wanted to play into Trick Room, but I had like a mixed speed team and you just had a slow team, so having no Trick Room worked out well for me. Yes, so if you couldn't tell from the visuals on screen, then clearly you're just not very good at competitive Pokemon. But obviously we're discussing Quark Drive Pokemon, as you could tell by the Boost Juice representing booster energy and the electric terrain representing electric terrain. Also this really weird Iron Moth fanfic thing, not fanfic, fan art I saw.
It's beautiful.
It's supposed to, I never figured out exactly what it was supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to look like Absalom from Adventure Time or something.
I can see it.
You a big Adventure Time fan?
I don't dislike it. I've seen probably like one episode ever.
Oh, okay. So then, and you don't know the character then?
I know who it kind of looks like.
Okay.
I just don't remember. I don't remember the name. Is it Finn? Is that who you're talking about?
No, Absalom is the vampire king.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. He's like a really big dude in a suit.
I saw the blue and I was like, yeah, I know that guy.
Sure. Also, Great Tusk. Unfortunately, I think we both know that guy this season. A NASCAR and Baby Driver. I haven't seen Baby Driver, but I assume that the car they use is manual. If it isn't, the movie's bad.
True. If you're gonna go fast.
So I am in the middle of having a stroke, but yes. Here is the default way to activate. Sorry, I guess I should go back to a previous step while we're talking about Paradox Mons. Paradox Mons have this funny ability called Quark Drive or Protosynthesis, unless they are the other Pokemon, in which case they have the abilities Hadron Drive and Orichalcum Pulse. But most of the ones, and all the ones that are legal in this format, have Quark Drive or Protosynthesis. These abilities cannot be overridden, they cannot be copied, and they give you a boost to a stat via a 1.3 boost if it is attack and defense, special attack or special defense, or a 1.5 boost if it's speed. And you can activate them in two ways, which we'll be talking about. The first one is the default, give me a boost with booster energy. It gives you that, it consumes the booster energy item, assuming that the relevant weather or terrain is not up, and it gives you that stat boost, which it activates your Protosynthesis / Quark Drive. The main Pokemon that gets the best advantage of it are Roaring Moon and I think Slitherwing, which can use Terra Flying and Acrobatics off of that boost and have a very, very strong attack immediately. Any input from you, sir?
No, I mean, hit the nail on the head. Booster Energy's pretty straightforward item. I think most of the time people are probably gonna run speed. I think just because some of them, a lot of the
Iron Hands
fairly fast. Well, maybe okay, not all of them, but a good chunk of them that are fairly quick can use Booster Energy to just go bonkers speed and be really difficult to catch. And also, kind of just mons like Fluttermane and Roaring Moon can kind of invalidate some mid-speed mons that want to run Scarf.
Yeah,
just by getting that plus speed boost.
Yeah, getting that plus speed boost is pretty big. With Roaring Moon, it does come at the cost of your attack, because you have to invest less EVs in attack. So then you might feel incentivized to run like a more bulky version. I've definitely seen people with like the Dragon Dance set that is attack boosting, because then you don't care as much about the speed because you're boosting that through Dragon Dance anyways. But if you're using it more as a support Pokemon to press Tailwind, then then you appreciate the speed boost immediately.
Absolutely.
I have less of a conviction that you do that we'll mostly be seeing speed boosts. I think that there are some Pokemon we're seeing a lot of speed boosts in, but there are a lot of those Pokemon that don't really care for this speed boost in a lot of matchups. Like Iron Bundle, it isn't going to be a great booster energy user because unless it's running into an opposing booster energy mon, it's going to be the fastest mon on the field anyway. Or it's in weather, or some other like double speed thing such as Unburden, and at +1 it's still not going to be the fastest thing on the field. Maybe Iron Valiant runs it though?
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I think...
I expect offensive boosting from a lot of these Pokemon. Yeah, obviously, I think that speed boost is very much a matchup call, whereas offense boosting or defense boosting is kind of like your default.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially because in draft, if you know you can fairly safely outspeed your opponent, regardless of what they're going to do, like Bundle, for example, then yeah, you can just...
You don't have to run booster energy to counter the opposing Flutter Mane.
Yeah.
And, like, if you have the Flutter Mane, I mean. Because unless it's grand finals, you're not playing a mirror. Actually, I have no idea if Ditto copies Protosynthesis / Quark Drive boosts or not. Because if they don't, then oh my god, this ability is overpowered. Like, this ability is already very overpowered, but that would be doubly overpowered. Generally speaking, why would you not want to run a booster energy item?
Why would you not want to run a boost?
Yeah, well, why would you have a Pokemon that has Protosynthesis or Quark Drive on your team and not be running booster energy on it?
I don't know, you got a better item.
Yeah, well, the first reason that seems pretty clear to me is because of item clause, and you already have booster energy on a different Pokemon, and you don't want to take it off that one to put it on that guy. Right? Like, I mean, you have 2 Quark Drive mons yourself, and you can only run 1 booster energy, so most likely one of them is going to run an item. You're not just going to leave it on the bench because it can't run booster energy, right?
That is true.
And then the other reason is obviously, there are other items that make more sense for the thing. Like I was saying, Iron Bundle probably doesn't want the speed boost, but it's going to be very difficult to get the attack boost. So you're just going to run like Covert Cloak or Focus Sash or Life Orb or, you know. Booster energy puts an imposition on your investment. Now, we've seen both Life Orb and Choice Specs be a very popular item on Flutter Mane, because it can still run max speed or close to max speed, still run speed boosting nature, and like have enough speed that's far higher than its special attack stat, and still get a boost to its special attack damage. Because sometimes booster energy in speed is overkill, and very rarely booster energy in offense is overkill.
True. If you can kill things in one hit, that's going to be very helpful. Versus speed that, if you're already faster, doesn't even matter.
Yeah. And like, opposing Pokemon are less likely to run a Choice Scarf to try and catch you not booster energy for speed, because it's always going to be reasonable that you booster energy for speed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they're generally more incentivized to use priority as their form of speed control against these very fast booster energy mons, like the Roaring Moon, like the Iron Jugulus, like the Iron Valiant, like the Flutter Mane, like the other one. Iron Bundle.
Yeah. Yeah, extreme speed, bullet punch, anything that you can, any big damage you can get on them.
For sure. Or otherwise to flipping speed scripts with Trick Room or their own, like, Tailwind. Because it doesn't matter how booster energied your Roaring Moon is, you're still not setting Tailwind before a Talonflame, and you're probably dying.
Or a Murkrow. Oh, baby.
Right.
Priority juicy.
Like, I think that's a pretty reasonable take, yeah?
Agreed. I will cycle back. I looked up the Ditto thing. Ditto does copy Protosynthesis and Quark Drive, and it can get boosts from Electric Terrain or Sunny Day.
But it doesn't copy their booster energy boost, right?
Correct, because that counts it as like a held item, which privately influences.
But if you run booster energy Ditto, then you're a god.
Yeah, that's insane.
But that makes Ditto a lot worse.
Yeah.
Because it already was losing to Tailwind. At least like the Scarf sort of Ditto or Speed Tie Ditto.
Yeah.
In Trick Room, do you know what the best Ditto item is? Like, sorry, against Trick Room?
Oh, against Trick Room?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you know it's gonna be Trick Room, slap like an Iron Ball or something on there.
But not the entire game is played in Trick Room, right? So you run Quick Claw, because then you'll win speed ties.
Yeah, what isn't that 10% of the time?
You're already winning a speed tie 50% of the time, and you add an extra 20%.
Oh, it's 20?
So I think you win speed ties 67% of the time. It means 2/3 of the time you move first. But you also have the ability to move first before another Pokemon.
Oh my god. That's investing in chaos. I love it.
Yeah, because Scarf will always lose to Tailwind anyway, and Quick Claw gives you an out. But it just means that you have a more consistent out against Trick Room. No, yeah, sorry, against other things, right? If you, like, Scarf is never going to win, or Scarf might win outside of Trick Room, but will always lose in Trick Room. And Room Service will give you a speed tie in Trick Room and maybe work. Sorry, speed tie outside of Trick Room, and Iron Ball will always make you lose outside of Trick Room or whatever. Quick Claw can increase that practicality. I know I ran a Quick Claw Sylveon recently, and then the only time it propped was when I was clicking Protect.
That's unfortunate for that.
But yeah, other reasons someone might not want to run Booster Energy. My brain just died. Sorry.
The stat goes away. If you switch out, you instantly lose whatever boost that you have.
Yes, if you are trying to switch. Yeah, if you want to do like a pivot heavy sort of composition.
Yeah.
Which a lot of Pokemon, do incentivize. Like if you have like a Palafin on your team, there will be value to not running that Booster Energy, because it is only a one use item. And as much as that's great for acrobatics, it's not great for everything besides acrobatics, especially U-turn and Volt Switch, which are moves a few different of the Protosynthesis and Quark Drive mons have. Like we've seen Volt Switch Iron Hands do significant amounts of work in current format VGC. And I don't see why it wouldn't be able to do that in Draft League as well as a format,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So those are like the main use cases for why you would not want to do it. So let's push away from like your push bike to investing in surge protection. These are the two Pokemon that can let you automatically get off a boost from Quark Drive or Protosynthesis. No, I'm not sure this is necessarily the best Terra type for Pincurchin, but honestly, could not figure out what was. They are they're funny guys. The fact that you can lead them and get that boost is good. The boost does disappear when the weather/terrain leaves, but it reappears when the weather/terrain comes back. If that is,
I think something that's interesting to note is that both of them are
incredibly slow.
The slowest, they're the slowest respective terrain and or weather setters in the format. So
yeah,
you can guaranteed get it up turn 1 at least.
Pincurchin at 15 and Torkoal at 20 are two of the slowest Pokemon in the format. I think they are the slowest fully evolved Pokemon in the format. I think there's Clodsire at 20 and nothing else. So that's 3 fully evolved Pokemon in 20 or 15. Which it's funny because we were talking all about speed boost with Quark Drive and Protosynthesis, but these mods play very heavily into a slower game. Sorry, in a sense of Trick Room, not necessarily in the sense of long game. To be clear. We were discussing earlier about like the different circumstances in which you would consider taking Pincurchin as a team with multiple things, or a Pincurchin equivalent. So I was like, okay, so would you take Pincurchin? And you said that, like, it was a pretty reasonable thing to consider. Then I was like, okay, now if there was like a pre-evolved Pincurchin, which didn't have amazing stats and didn't have an amazing move pool, but it still had like a decent special attack stat and electric stab, with the electric surge, would you take it? I think you said your answer was yes, with a team that has 2 Quark Drive mons, but maybe not if you just had the 1.
Correct.
And then we asked the question of, say, like a random mid-tier Prankstermon, which is not necessarily a particularly standout one, had got access to electric terrain manually setting. Would you consider running that? Because with Sun, I think the answer is generally yes, but I think electric terrain is maybe, well, it's definitely less good than sun, but it may even be less appealing, just for even if you aren't clicking a fire move in sun / an electric move in terrain. And I think you were on the fence about it depended on how much, like you weren't going to drop Murkrow for a worse mon just because it gave you the ability to give you a 1.3x boost to Iron Moth's special attack stat.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough concept to think about, just because, like, electric terrain, because I have 2 Iron Mons, would be really good, but at the same time,
it's worse than Tailwind most of the time.
Yeah.
Worse than something like a Tail Whip or a Fake Tears most of the time.
Yeah.
Worse than Screens most of the time.
It would probably just be brought less in general, and like, I don't know, bringing 2 support mons out of 6 isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think
look, this is, just putting aside the fact that you have Murkrow. Like, you say you don't bring it in your 6. Most of the time, Murkrow is going to take that slot.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's probably like a pretty reasonable mon for that slot. Yeah, like it's not something that you would make a trade for.
Yeah.
Unless you were getting like a pretty equivalently good mon that just happens to also have electric terrain. And I don't honestly. I mean, you've got obviously 2 fast Quark Drive mons. Most of the Quark Drive mons are relatively fast, whereas Iron Hands is quite slow, and Iron Thorns is like moderate speed in the 71, I think. Might be 72.
Yeah. 71 or 72.
I think it's 72 because I think Mega Tyranitar is the one that's 71.
It is 72. You're correct.
I know my Tyrannosaurs. I think I've gotten confused on that before because Mega Tyranitar was 71. But yeah. But then you have Iron Jugulus, Iron Bundle, Iron Moth, Iron Treads. Who's the other Iron Mon? Oh, Iron Valiant, and all of them are over 100 speed. Whereas with the Protosynthesis mons, a lot of them are in that 50, 60, 70 sort of range. Like Great Tusk at 70 or 78, I think. I don't know.
Great Tusk is 87?
87. Oh, I said 78, but it's 87.
Oh, so close.
So close, and yet so far. Like Slitherwing at 71, 74. I have no idea. I made videos about most of these Pokemon. Why do I not remember any of this? But yeah, so Slitherwing at 81. Okay. But a lot of Pokemon in that more mid-range rather than that over 100 or 72/50. New mons as well. Walking Wake, whatever. So playing into Trick Room is generally, I think, a different use case to playing into Tailwind. Most of the time, for electric terrain especially, Tailwind is going to be better, and the reason you would use Electric Surge over Tailwind is because Tailwind takes a turn and Electric Surge takes leading, and then, like getting to fuck out of dodge, or maybe let a Palafin and then use that to also develop your Palafin while you got Pincurchin in.
Yeah, I guess something else I didn't think about was Electric Surge has the nice little side benefit of preventing sleep if you're touching the ground.
Yeah.
Which could also be useful in matchups where you're running into like a Moongus or other general grass types that want to put you to sleep.
Yep, for sure. That is an out. I've seen someone run. I saw someone run manual electric terrain back in Generation 6 when there was no synergy with it whatsoever. Like Go-Go had grassy pelt, so it had synergy with grassy terrain, but nothing had synergy with it. But I saw someone run it as a sleep tech.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we don't really use.
He didn't see much success, mind you.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting tech, doesn't necessarily mean it's tech.
But that can be something which may incentivize you to want to run a manual electric terrain over that. But yes, in terms of these automatic sets, Torkoal is a much better mon than Pincurchin, and Torkoal, so Sun is a much better condition than electric terrain, generally speaking. Though there are some advantages for electric terrain. Obviously, if you have a bunch of Quark Drive mons and no Photosynthesis mons, Sun isn't going to do much for you besides boost the power of your Fire-type moves. And reduce the weakness to Water-type moves. But he also is a 1.5 boost, but terrain is only a 1.3. No, 1.2. They nerfed it. Yeah, or was it nerfed from 1.5 to 1.3? Okay, I know they nerfed terrain. How much did they nerf it again?
I gotta look it up. I don't remember. It is 30 now. It used to be 50. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, it used to be the same as weather, and now it's less than weather.
Yeah, I think probably because of the 4 tapus or whatever, we're going bonkers with it. Oh, prior to Generation 8, actually. Oh no, yeah.
Electric terrain now boosts the special attack stat of a Pokemon with Hadron Engine by roughly 33%, or more precisely by a factor of 5,461 divided by 4,096, even if it is not otherwise affected by the terrain due to not being grounded.
What?
Of course. That's exactly what I would have expected.
What?
You know, like, if you would have guessed, like, is that not exactly what you would have guessed, like, the first thing?
It's probably within 10.
Within 10, yeah. I didn't
I
even know it didn't work if you weren't touching the ground, you know? I'm sorry, it worked if you weren't touching the ground. I'm gonna have to start running Terraflying Miraidon? Yeah, Miraidon. Ultimately.
There you go.
So now we get to, like, the crux of the video, which is NASCAR style. When are you actually going to want to chuck it in manual? I think NASCAR is the only time Americans drive manual cars.
I certainly drive an automatic, so...
It disgusts me. I drove an automatic a couple times because it was my mate's car and I was like the designated driver, the Deza. I kept trying to reach, and then like all was there was the handbrake. And I kept like stomping on the clutch, except there was no clutch,
so I
I was
just
just stomping on the floor. Yeah, shifted to park, man.
Oh no.
Yes, so NASCAR style. When do you manually do things? When do you do things? When do you manually do things? When do you not do things? So here I put what I think are reasonable use cases for setting manual weather and terrain. Noivern is a fast Pokemon. That's why it can make sense to click Sunny Day with it. Iron Bundle and Jolteon are both... Like, Noivern doesn't necessarily benefit from it, neither does Grafaiai. Grafaiai has Prankster Sunny Day, which is why it's a reasonable option. Neither of them benefit from it, but I think Sunny Day is more impactful generally than Electric Terrain, so it makes more sense to run it. Whereas Iron Bundle and Jolteon both directly benefit from Electric Terrain, assuming they don't die on the turn they set it, which is why I think they are really like the only use cases that I can see is like a fast Electric type or a fast Quark Drive Mon. Or a slow one as well. Like, you know, you can do it with Ampharos in Trick Room or whatever. You know, to really juice up that Iron Thorns or something. But that's about it, you know. Is there a Trick Room? Is there a Trick Room and Electric Terrain setter that isn't like Iron Valiant? Clone Clang's not in the current format, right?
No, it is only Iron Valley. It gets both.
Alolan Raichu's not in current format. Mew is not in current format. Tragic.
Arceus is also not.
Yeah, Arceus isn't. Does Arceus get Electric Terrain now?
And Trick Room.
Yeah, there's really just nothing besides Iron Valiant. So I was gonna say you could put it on a Trick Room setter and then do it, but no. Apparently,
hey, there you
PhD Pikachu. Pikachu can get Trick Room with one of its costumes, and then PhD Electric Terrain with one of the other costumes. Not both at once, though.
PhD Pikachu.
That's from Costume Pikachu in Oras.
Yes, I remember the costumes. Wow, that's incredible.
I think you probably got it like anyway. Because you know, it's this electric type, but I might be wrong, you know. I am wrong. It did not get it until Gen 7. Except for PhD Pikachu. Gen 7 Pichu got it as an egg move.
Oh my god. Only PhD Pikachu, huh?
Yep, you know what, that's crazy. So, yes, I think that it's very difficult to justify Electric Terrain manually, whereas it's much easier to justify Sunny Day manually, because Sunny Day takes less damage from water moves, whereas electric terrain just makes you not get spored. And like, just run safety goggles, bro. Like, it's not that hard. Jinx isn't in the format. You're not gonna get lovely kissed. It's all right.
Yeah, I think another. Yeah, I feel like terrain kind of got another like pseudo nerf in the form that they added Ice Spinner.
Yeah.
As a move to the game.
I considered mentioning
like
that, and then I realized that I don't even think it's that relevant because terrain is just kind of mid, anyways. I think Pincurchin is justifiable. I don't think manual electric terrain. It may have specific matchups because it's draft league, but it's definitely not broadly usable.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like people are gonna bring Ice Spinner maybe as an option to counter specific terrain. Like if somebody has.
If you have DD.
Or indeed, yeah.
Like if you have DD or if you have Pincurchin, then they can bring Ice Spinner. If someone brings Ice Spinner because they predict you setting manual terrain, and you do set manual terrain and it gets Ice Spinned, I recommend just dropping. like that's it. That's over. It's done. You know, there's no more point in persisting in the VGC as a format if you'll be getting red that hard. You know, knowing that. I'm gonna like wind up bringing manual terrain for some reason this season. I do have like a Crimsnarl with a Prankster Misty, and someone is gonna Ice Spinner me, and I'm just gonna have to quit VGC draft forever, you know. Oh, and honestly, it'd probably be better for me.
No.
It's like you know what they say. To Monsters Christ, to miss playoffs is gain. What a great tragedy it would be. There's other ways to remove terrain in Defog, and does a Pokemon learn Steel Roller by level up? I know some of the moves got lost. But I have no idea if Steel Roller
only Iron Trash.
You have the remover! You can manual Iron Electric Terrain with Iron Moth, and then use that to get a really strong Steel Roller.
That's actually kind of sick.
Yeah, you need to do that this season.
Write that down.
We're writing it down right now, friend. Oh, God. The only Pokemon I ever used Steel Roller on were Metagross and Duraludon. But apparently Glalie got it, Bronzong got it, Heatran got it. Dude, I would love to have done that with Heatran. I ran Heavy Slam on Heatran, you know? I'd be willing to Steel Roller with it. Ferrothorn. It's still weaker than Cheruball. Delmise. Oh, that would have been hilarious. Yeah, I don't really have further commentary. I think that you should use Steel Roller. It'd be very funny.
Oh, I'm legitimately writing it down.
You're like the
so I don't forget, because I feel like I'm gonna forget, and then
you're like the only
you'll
team
remind me of this like after week says
you can do
over,
it
and I'll be like,
against Heavens Regilabs with Pincurchin.
Oh, let's go. Heaven, don't listen to this.
You can remove your own boost, and don't forget you do lose both of your electric terrain boosts, like from Quark Drive, but it's worth it.
It is absolutely worth it, if not for just the contest.
Imagine the Steel Roller in Generation 9 is meta? Question mark?
Only one mod gets it. Calculated.
That's look. All I'm saying is that is at least a that's at least a 1,000 view video. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not expecting to get 1,000 views on any of my videos, but if I do, awesome.
If you do click manual terrain and then Steel Roller, then that is the 1,000 view video.
Oh baby,
I'm an expert on 1,000 view videos with my videos that have like 300 views. You know.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Can't you tell? Like that's a lot of views. It's
that's a lot of views.
Not even. Oh, sorry, 200. I'm sorry for lying. I have one video that has over 200 views.
Hey, that's still a win. That's a win in my book.
It's definitely a win. But look, million view video. You've heard it here. I worked on a video that got 1 million views once, so yeah.
Oh, that's sick. It's because of your involvement, of course.
Yeah, definitely, entirely. Definitely not down to anything else done by any of my friends and compatriots. So ultimately, how do you do the funny thing in this gen? You do what one of the teams did. You draft Brute Bonnet with Torkoal, or the funnies with Pincurchin. I don't remember what terrain abuses they have with Pincurchin.
I
know it's a ring team.
Iron Jugulus and Thorns.
Okay, yeah. That's the Iron Thorns was the one that I said was a reasonable rank. For like a Trick Roomy sort of thing. Iron Jugulus is quite good.
Agreed.
With funny Roaring Moon. Yeah, just use Booster Energy or a different item. Booster energy is like in this really weird place where it is. Sorry, the abilities are in a weird place. Booster energy is really good. Like Booster energy is a choice scarf with no choice or a life orb with no recoil, right? But the other ones, like the manual weather, is there are other things that do similar impacts that have more of an impact. Like you get more out of dropping their defensive stat by 1 stage if you're attacking them than you do by getting the raise. But obviously that's not permanent, but also your mon that you're setting weather for can die. You know, it's like a real intense rubric, and I think that it will be interesting to see when people manually use it, and maybe if we do see some usage throughout the season, the two of us can make a follow-up video during playoffs. But
yeah, I've been down. I'll keep my eye out for any manual weather setting.
Yeah, but if we don't see it, then we won't ever speak of this again.
I mean, I feel like I can almost guarantee you I'll do it at some point during the season with Murkrow. So
you'll set electric terrain with Murkrow.
Not electric terrain, but a weather.
Oh yeah, no, I made a separate weather video. It came out yesterday.
Yeah.
This is specifically the photosynthesis Quark Drive.
I know. Okay. Yeah. Well, I wish Murkrow got electric terrain, but I can't. You know what?
But would it be better than Tailwind?
I'm gonna sell electric terrain with Murkrow. I'll show you.
I mean, you probably can. It's got copycat, right? All you would need to do is set electric terrain with one of your other Pokemon first, and then click copycat. I'm pretty sure Murkrow gets copycat.
I feel like I should know the answer to that.
He definitely did in a gen.
It does not get copycat any longer.
No. Also, it doesn't show up as transfer only moves because it's not in the gens. Sorry, because Pokemon Home isn't out yet. Let me find the transfer move thing.
I can't pull the sick bone copycat into Talonflame move that he pulled against Poppin last season.
They removed Mirror Move as well, which was heartbreaking.
That's
well, it wasn't in. It wasn't in last gen. Okay, Generation 7. Do we have Copycat, Fire, Transfer? And then there's the other one, Mimic. Surely it gets one of them, right? They used to get Mirror Move before they cut it. I think Mirror Move only works on attacking moves.
I don't think that's true. I feel like I got Mirror moved to remove my Trick Room in Little Cup at one point, but maybe I'm wrong.
It might be the Z move is different. Oh no, it fails when you use a Z move. If they use a Z move. Okay. I had an interaction where they used a Z status move, and I assumed the problem was that they used a status move.
Oh yeah, I can see what's going to be.
I'm not seeing Copycat, but I am seeing Mimic. Apparently only Mimic in Gen 3 and only Gen 3, which I think it might have been a TM back then, which would be why.
Yeah.
Just get Metro. Doesn't get Metro.
Oh.
I don't. So it looks like maybe your Murkrow will not be able to run. You just need Zoroark. Or Zoroark.
Unfortunately.
Surely one of them gets Copycat or Mimic, right?
Yeah.
Like surely, right?
And Zoroark was drafted in my conference.
I saw someone use Zoroark in two Impact in Jordan's most recent video. I've never seen it do anything ever.
Today?
Yeah, it came out today. Or maybe yesterday for you Americans. I don't know.
I have not watched...
It was a very good video. But yes, speaking of very good videos, those of you in the chat, please check out SlymRed, which is my friend Goose's channel. Please subscribe to this channel. Please leave a comment down below, and ideally like the video if you liked it. And if you did dislike it, leave me a comment and like the video so that you make sure that I read the comment. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully we do see some manual sun for photosynthesis and some manual electric terrain for Quark Drive. But even if we don't, it was an interesting thought experiment.
We will.
Maybe Pincurchin will do things.
I believe it can.
I believe that Pincurchin can do things. I know Torkoal can do things, but I do think Pincurchin can do things.
I agree.
And with that, we are out.